Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. I thought I would show you what the babies wore to the meeting, my doll club meeting on Saturday. Before I get on to that, I'll tell you that today it's Monday afternoon, it's about 5:15. It's been really hot today and it's been bright blue sky, but I'm excited because it's getting grey and overcast and there's talk of rain. I'm really excited. We had a drop of rain early this morning and a drop of rain yesterday. But other than those two little spits, we haven't had rain for many months. So everyone's just desperate to see some water falling from the sky, and I hope tonight or this afternoon and tonight will be the time. So fingers crossed everybody that we get some rain here. So you are looking at Pippa and Jonty, of course, and this is how I dressed them for the doll club meeting. Now, it wasn't a show, it's a meeting that I go to every month. It's a meeting of the Doll Collectors Club of New South Wales, and we are all doll collectors there, which is why I didn't think it would be such a difficult task to convince some people, to convince some people that reborns are dolls and we are collectors of them, and we're not crazy, we're not lunatics, we love these dolls. It's quite simple, just like other people love bisque dolls or hard plastic dolls or Barbie dolls, or it's no different. So that's what I was hoping to convince everybody of. I suppose there were probably about 50 or 60 members there on Saturday, and we got through the normal part of the meeting, and then it was my turn, and my friend who came to help me to bring some of her dolls came a bit late, but she made it in time, and she brought 9 dolls with her, which was fantastic because you won't believe it, but she's got 55 reborns. Her grown-up daughters have 200 American Girl dolls. So the 3 of them are big-time doll collectors, and my friend's name is Sylvia, and she's also an artist, so she makes the babies too. So Sylvia brought a fantastic variety, which was good because I only had these 2 and little Indie with me. So they're all babies, obviously, because you know that's what I love. So that's all I had to take. But Sylvia, I'll tell you what Sylvia brought. She brought a Grinch. She brought a French Bulldog. She brought a full body silicone. She brought the crying and talking twins by A.K. Kittygawa. They were so cute. I haven't seen them in person. They were so cute, and she had given them really almost white hair, and it was short, and they just looked gorgeous. I loved them. Anyway, so those 2, and she brought a child-sized doll that she'd made, and she brought a toddler doll, and she brought several babies. Now, let me think, was there anything else? I think that might be all that she brought. Anyway, it's 9 altogether and a really good variety. So that helped people to understand that there's all sorts of things that collectors like to collect in this reborn world. So I started off telling them about the history of reborns. Just quickly, hopefully I wasn't boring. So I just told them how it all started, and that strictly speaking these dolls aren't reborns anymore because they're purpose made, and they're sold as kits, obviously, not as fully made up dolls that need to have factory paint stripped and all that. So I did that in the beginning, and then I explained how I got into it, how I think it was 8 years ago, we had a talk from a wonderful woman called Lynn Conlon, who makes reborns and has for a long time, and she was running classes, and she talked about those classes, and my ears pricked up because I've been missing making things, being, a craft person from the past. I really miss sewing and knitting and all that stuff. So when she talked about making them, I talked to her after the meeting and said, look, I can only use one hand. Do you think I could manage to do this? She said, my husband Paul and I will certainly help you. Give it a go. So it started then, and it was just, I loved it the minute I started. I just loved it and didn't have that much trouble, working around my lack of 2-hand use. So that's how I got into it. So I told that story in more detail. I told them how many different types of collectors there are. There are people who collect because they want to have one of each type of everything. There are people who collect because they have anxiety problems and these dolls help them. There are people who collect because they've lost babies and these help them a great deal. And I said, and I collect because I love baby clothes. And then I like to have babies to dress into these baby clothes that never get dirty, never get wrecked. Babies never grow out of them, so I can use them as much as I like. So that bit was good. I explained that dolls now, compared to when I started, are much more realistic. The kits are more realistic. The painting methods are getting better all the time. I guess because, you know, we all try a different technique or a different, just all sorts of different, anything you can do different, we keep trying with our babies when we make them. So I explained all of that. I told them all about Bonnie Brown and how famous she is and that she's just a young girl from Melbourne. Because I wanted them to realise that, you know, there are very, very, very talented people in this art. And what else did I tell? I told them a funny story. I said, I've got 3 big plastic tubs of baby clothes under my baby's cot in the nursery or the playroom. And I said, the only reason I don't have 4 big plastic tubs is because 4 don't fit under the cot. And I don't like to feel attacked by baby clothes. But I said, that's really my thing. I don't even have the doll made yet to wear those clothes, but I've got all the clothes ready and waiting. So they laughed, and it was just a bit, I just chatted to them like I'm chatting to you. And then I got Sylvia up, and at first she didn't want to talk. But then when she realised it was all just, you know, casual and easy, she joined in, and she told people what kits she had, when she bought them, why she likes them. It was so good. And then afterwards everyone came up and had a good look at the babies. All the reborns, not just the babies. They looked at the dog and the Grinch and everything. It was wonderful. But, and here's a big but, I did not change anybody's mind that I know of. I mean, they came and admired the babies, but a lot of them sort of half looked and kind of, they didn't make any rude comments, but they, yeah, I could just tell that they weren't convinced. They still think they're spooky, or they're, what else could that be? I don't know. I don't know why people are so scared of them. Let me just turn this a bit. Oh, yeah, it's not so good. The light's not very good, of course, but as I'm not a professional photographer, I'm relying on what's coming in from the window and my overhead light for the babies. But yeah, so I really don't think I changed anybody's mind. The people who loved them before still love them. The people who didn't like them still don't like them. But it was great fun to talk about them. It was really, really good fun. Yeah, I loved it. I loved the buzz. I loved when everyone came up and looked at them and admired them and said, you know, how gorgeous they were. And that was very nice. And looked at their clothes, because, you know, that's why they were there, as well as just showing the babies. I just wanted people to realise that they, you know, you can buy stunning things for these dolls. I took lots of accessories and really, you know, tarted up their area, that they were on a table. But I took little blocks that said baby. I took their beautiful little Steiff lambs. I took a dummy each for them. I took, what else? I took a Miola teddy, a little rabbit that Suzanne from Suzanne's Babies had sent for them. I took 2 little jelly cats, my 2 small ones. One was from Suzanne and the other was from Sue Drinkwater. So I made them look really good. And I did explain that I was sorry they couldn't touch Indie, but they could look at her, and I explained about her full body and how she's different to these 2. And yeah, it was fun. It's always fun to talk about reborns, isn't it? I do enjoy it. Sorry I'm a bit out of breath. I've been, let me catch it a bit. I've been just so busy today doing, you don't want to hear. Oh, well, you do want to hear probably. I had I met up with Jen today and we spent a few hours together, and that was really good fun as usual. Yak, 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 yak. And I did a bit of supermarket shop, not a giant one, but enough to make it a nuisance to have to pack everything away, which is the least fun part of the whole expedition, I think. But anyway, so I've been doing all that, and there was a fly in this room, and I sprayed him, and I had to wait for him to be quiet because he was buzzing all over the place. So I had to wait for him to be quiet before I started the video, because I didn't want you guys to hear like a bzzz in the background. It's really annoying. But it also shows that it's warm. The weather's warming up now, because as soon as that happens, all the flies hatch out in Australia, and we get, you have to be careful when you come in and out the door, so you don't let all the flies in. Oh, I know what I can do. I can tell you what these guys are wearing. You've probably seen these outfits before, but I'll describe them to you. They're both in little bubble rompers with frill collars. I put a pink bonnet on Pippa, just to show everyone what the babies look like with a bonnet on, and I left little Jonty with his bald head, so I could talk about my love of these heads. But as you all know, that's my weakness, these babies' heads. So yes, so they're wearing a bubble romper each. Pippa's is a beautiful white, like a voile almost, with it's very fine cotton with a little sort of embossed tiny weeny sprigs of white flowers on it. And over the top she's got a pink cardigan. It was a bit cool on Saturday. They could probably do without their cardies now, but I won't take them off just now. And Jonty has got his little white bubble romper on, but his is a polished cotton in white, as I said, and it's got little pale blue yachts and lighthouses on it in a nice pattern, and he has a pale blue cardie over the top. So that's those two. And do you know what I thought I might do? I thought I might just reach across and take these babies out and just show you what Indie's wearing today. I know she's not mine, but she's just so cute. I just love dressing her up. So we'll just lift Pippa out carefully. Come on, my darling. There you go. They're just lying next to this bassinet on a chair now. Come on, Jonty. Up you come, baby. I won't disturb you. Oh, such a good boy. There you are. Now let's get this big girl. Come on, sweetness. Come on, my darling. Here she is. She's in this really, really, really cute little dress that's actually got a like a onesie attached to it, and it's in a peach colour with kind of white flowers or thistles, or I'm not sure what they are, but they're outlined in black, and it's got little short sleeves. Put your arm down, sweetheart. And I put a big pink bow in her hair just for fun. And I didn't do this up because I just want you to see how cute she looks like that in her special little cloth nappy that she'll be taking home with her to her new mummy. She looks so cute in that. It's irresistible. When you see her from the back, she looks like a real baby, because the nappy actually has got, oh, you can't see her head. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've just come back to the camera. Hang on a second. No, the other way. There we go. A bit more. There she is. There's my little Indie. So, what was I? Hopefully you saw enough while I was just yakking. So, yeah, her peach coloured dress, her sweet nappy underneath. Oh, she's a darling little girl, and a big pink bow for fun. And there she is. There's little Indie. And so she was a big hit at the doll club meeting as well. And everyone admired her beautiful hair. Her, it's very fine, like a real baby's, and they loved her eyelashes. And that because it's a real process, and when you're not used to reborns, you don't sort of know about these things. So it was good fun to talk about, what goes into the painting, or the layers, the work and the hours. And I actually did take a blank kit. I took a blank Indie kit, so they could actually see what these babies start out like, which is pretty much nothing. So that was really good. I think that might be all. Just think for a minute. Yep, I think that's all. Can't think of much else I want to say. Oh, I could say that, what's her name? The name's just gone completely out of my head. That's ridiculous. That drives me insane. How can I tell you something when I can't even think of the girl's name? Oh, I can't think of it. You all know her. She's got baby... can't even think of the baby's name. Oh, this is embarrassing. Janica. You're all shouting at me now, telling me who it is. Because I know... Kelly girl. Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, brain. For goodness sake. So yes, Kelly girl. I just watched a video by Kelly girl. I'm not sure how old it is. I think it's quite new. And she talks about being... Are we hoarders of baby accessories? And she listed off a few things that she realised she hoards. Things like loveys she hoards, and blankets she hoards, and baby shoes she hoards. So I think you probably all know that I definitely am hooked on baby clothes. I often talk about needing accessories anonymous. I do need an intervention because, you know, it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but it just makes me so happy, and I love baby clothes. So I have a lot of baby clothes. I have a lot of leather baby shoes. I love tiny, weeny, perfect leather baby shoes. And what else? Oh, you know, I collect. I have some bottles. Not so much for these babies. It's just an interesting glass bottle collection, really, is what I have. And I don't collect dummies, so that's one thing, thank goodness I don't collect. I know what I'm demented about, blankets. And they're a bit of a nuisance to collect because they take up a lot of space. So I've got tubs with blankets in. I've got vintage blankets, I've got new blankets, I've got knitted, I've got all sorts. I love them all. So I've had to really stop myself doing blankets, and I've got pretty much control over that, I think, which is one good thing, isn't it? So it was a great video. If you want to go over to Kelly Girl and have a look, she's funny. She's really fun to hear her talking about it. So nip across and have a look at her video. She's got her beautiful new, well, not new, but she's recently reacquired her Janica. She did a trade with a friend, and I think this is the second or third time she's had this very special Janica by Claire Taylor. She's a one-off. She's made with a very special silicone that's a secret kind of formula of Claire's. She's the only baby who's been made with that, as far as I know. So go across and have a look at Kelly Girl and see what you guys think about if you're hoarders. I know some of you are so sensible. I know you are, and I wish I was. But I'm not. I'm nuts for these clothes and shoes and blankets. Really quite nutty. And yeah, I think that might be all really and truly now. Do you want me to zoom in on her face? Let's try and do that. See what Mr. Camera thinks about that. I know that's her tummy. I know. Let's go up to her face. Where can we do that? It's a bit tricky because the camera's on the tripod. So let me just see if I can just, that's out, isn't it? Go in and see if I can lift the camera closer. Uh-oh, now we've got a battery warning light and I can't get close enough to her, and you don't want to see that dress. There's her little face. That's not brilliant. Sorry everybody, that's a failed experiment. But there she is, my little sweet Indie. Swaying in the breeze because I'm hanging onto this tripod at the most awkward angle. There we go. It's not perfect. I'm trying to get her in the middle, but there you go. Alright everybody, before I torture you any further, I'll say goodbye for now. And thank you very much for coming. And please take care. Be kind to each other. I'll see you soon. Bye bye everyone. Tripod goes down, camera goes off. Bye bye.